All right, the commission recognizes Don Crawford, Assistant Chief of Information and Education, to give us an update on the National Archery in the Schools and National Fishing in the Schools program. Thank you, Don.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Sure. These are short and sweet, I promise. Second that, okay. Yes, it's fine. It's all right. That's fine. I do have to get moving along because today is the final day to put the final approval on the hunting guide, so we got till noon to sign off on that. So we made a few changes this morning at 8 o'clock, so we're looking okay so far. So it's looking pretty good. Well, first, we'll take a quick glance at the National Archery in the School program, what's been going on with us. Some of the best benefits that I see with the program that we've seen since we started in October of 2004 is the self-confidence the kids get, the focus, the concentration. They're doing better with grades, their behavior, and also the attendance, believe it or not, goes up on archery days, believe it or not. It's kind of crazy, but it works that way. As far as safety-wise, it's very safe. It's very easy to learn. Each teacher will go through about an 8-hour course that we offer to them at no charge. The safety of the program is archery is safer than any ball sport except for table tennis. And if you look at school, we go into a school, the top 3 accidents occur in basketball, cheerleading, and volleyball. Football falls about number 5. So I mean, we can outdo all of those, very easily. So it's not real difficult as far as safety goes. As far as the school, I mean, there's no more insurances required just because you bring a bow and arrow into the school. It's no different than, like I said, having football or cheerleading or volleyball. It's no difference at all. Like I said, we began in 2004 with 12 schools. Right now we have 276 schools, and we're reaching right now about 32,000 students a year with this program. We're adding approximately about 15 to 20 schools a year. Probably one of the greatest things that we're able to do, with some of the money, is we're able to offer each school about a $1,000 grant to help them with that, with the cost of the kit. The kit's about $3,000. We'll give them about $1,000 to get them started. That's sort of really boosting it up. Plus, we've been getting some sponsors, as far as individual sponsors and company sponsors. So it's been really helping us get this program going, no doubt. Another great thing about archery also is about 94% of all students or all kids can do this. It's not just for athletes. Don't have to have all these great skills or abilities, but I mean, these are some of the physical disabilities. This little girl in the bottom left, she was at our state tournament this year. She shot. This gentleman up at the top, he shoots for Bledsoe County. He's got muscular dystrophy. He's been shooting with us for the last 4 years at the state tournament. He has this special little chair he has to lean against, but he's been able to participate. Which is pretty awesome to see stuff like that. Pretty incredible. This year, our state tournament was April the 4th and 5th at the Tennessee Miller Coliseum. This was our record field this year. We had 1,225 students come from 71 schools. This was our 7th tournament that we had. Our very first one, we had 199 kids. This year, we had over 1,200. Had about almost 1,400 registered, but you're going to have some people fall out. It's just the way it goes sometimes. We've been running this, like I said, about a day and a half. Our max is 1,600. It looks like next year we're probably going to be close to probably maxing out on that right there, probably on that number. But it's been working out great so far, for sure. I don't know where to start to thank everybody for all their support, especially the regional managers, all the program managers, all the division chiefs, the assistant directors and directors, and the commission. Like I said, we had over 50 TWWC staff this year work this event. They were come from Region 1, 2, 3, and 4, and also from Nashville. And the IT division, they came in there and helped us with all the scoring and registration. It's kind of a crazy kind of deal, but it all worked out. And I don't know, somehow it seems to get smoother and smoother every year. It's kind of scary, but it's working out pretty good. And I want to thank everybody for all their help and support for that, for sure. This year, this is our winning high school team. It's called Chet. They're a homeschool. Most of them are from either Sumner County, Davidson County, and Cheatham County, and they make up this big group. And that's Chet. That's the high school winner this year. Our middle school winner was Whitworth Buchanan out of Rutherford County. If I had to pick one of the strongest counties that we've got the program in, it's probably going to be Rutherford County. What they got in their schools, they've got their SROs, their student resource officers, the police officers. That's the ones that's teaching the program. They're teaching that program during school, during the school hours. So, man, it's pretty impressive. I mean, their sheriff gets on board, and man, it's amazing what they got going on over there. This year, the elementary school winner was Christiana from Rutherford County as well. So, to see the little kids, it's kind of pretty awesome. Overall individual champions, our #1 male this year was Hunter Mason from Van Buren County. He shot a 287 out of a possible 300. This was the second year in a row he's won this award. And the girl from Chet, she wasn't available for the picture on award day, but she shot a 289. She beat everybody at the whole event. She beat everybody. Yeah, she's pretty impressive, pretty good. This year we had 5 high school teams, 3 middle schools, and an elementary school, as well as 50 individuals who went to the national tournament this year. The national tournament was on May the 10th and 11th. It was held in Louisville, Kentucky. There was a little over 9,000 kids showed up to that tournament and shot in 2 days. If you've never been to a tournament, to one of these archery tournaments, you ought to make it a trip to go to Louisville one time and watch this. It is impressive. See that many kids shooting at a time. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Let's see. Because last year at their tournament, they had the Guinness Book of World Records show up, and it was they signed off as the world's largest archery tournament last year. And this year they had more than they had last year. So they just keep growing and growing and growing. So it's getting bigger also. Like I said, this coming year, our Middle Coliseum will again serve for our 8th state tournament again on April the 3rd and 4th. That's when it's going to be. This coming year is going to be the first year we're ever going to be able to offer scholarships. Bethel College has come to us, and they're going to offer $5,000 a year for 4 years to someone to some senior. They're going to pick a male and a female, top male and female senior. They're going to offer them a scholarship. So that's going to be kind of pretty impressive for us. It'll be our first time we've ever done that. So that's where we're going to be. So if you want to mark a date, that's the date. If you want to come check it out, it's pretty awesome, pretty good. All right, told you it's going to be quick. Any questions? The archery in the school program?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Being on the city council in Johnson City, SROs are always a very, debated priority there in schools. Did you get any pushback that the SROs would be distracted from their main principle of protecting the schools instead of being tied up in a gymnasium teaching archery? I mean, I'm just asking that question because that's probably what I love the idea, and I was going to go back to Johnson City and recommend that too. But I just didn't know if there was any pushback from the community as far as it being a distraction from their primary goal of creating safety in the school.
Because most of them rather can what they're charged with. They have to teach one class a day. They have to teach at least one class. Sometimes they might teach the DARE program. They might teach something about drunk driving or whatever. But then also they'll come teach NASP as well. They just have to teach one class a day is all they have to teach. So they're like 50 minutes to an hour. I mean that's all they got to do.
Okay.
But then most of them take it after, of course, the after school where all the practice comes and all that, and they take it to another level. I mean, that's kind of after school on their own time, sort of, kind of thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
I asked Director Carter to get Don to come speak to it today because of the success that we've had in Bristol with our system. We put it in last fall, and it's an amazing program. I spent it's 2 years ago, I was trying to help with the Scholastic Clay, but the expense of that and trying to find a shooting complex that you can do it is tough. And with this program, the expense is so low, and you get kids involved in the shooting sports, immediately. And it's just I get videos or pictures every week of kids that are fired up about it, and the teachers are I mean, it's amazing. And I would encourage all of the commissioners to go back to their hometowns and talk to the school administrators and see if they can get it installed, because I just think anything we can do with the kids to get them involved in any shooting sport is going to help the agency in the long run. And like I say, the comment I always get back is increase in attendance, confidence, behavior. They use it for to control unruly kids. Say, well, if you act up, you're not going to get to shoot. So they show up that day and they behave well. So hopefully that'll transcend to, good attitudes every day. So appreciate you coming and talking about that. And it's a great program, and Don's super in coming and setting it up and working with our PE teachers and all. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. 2 more and I'll be out of here, I promise. This is just something real quick here. This is just like, I think it was last week, we opened up a new range. We partnered with the Williamson County, that's who we partnered with. This is an archery range that we put together at the Williamson County Ag Expo Park. Some of you might have went to the Governor's One Shot. This is located right there on the premises. As soon as you pull in that driveway, you'll take a right, and this is kind of up on a hill overlooking it right there. But we've been working with them, the Williamson County. Also been working with the gentleman that runs the archery den. It's an archery shop, and a couple of volunteers about trying to get this project done, and we just completed it. So this is just a quick picture of the range. We've got 10 stations. It's going to be open year-round. It's going to be closed for 2 weeks during the Williamson County Fair, because this is where all the carnies come in. They stay up at the top, so we just have to move those and we'll put them back out. But you can see that it's got the best backstop I've ever seen in any archery range. Okay, I told them we ought to be able to sell lots of arrows at this place, so we ought to be able to sell lots, that's for sure. Yeah, but this is just some of the pictures that we took, just a quick pic. And you can see here, Director Carter has a very great form, and Julie's getting ready. She's going to have some pretty good form as well. But the gentleman with the red tie, that's Rogers Anderson, who's the Williamson County Mayor, who's a super guy, and I just want to thank them. Also want to thank Morrell Targets for the price that they really gave us on the targets. It was a bottom dollar, crazy kind of deal, but it worked out really good. So that's just a quick picture of that. I don't know if they hit it. I didn't ask. I didn't ask that question. No commissioners were hurt. Okay, that's good. That's great. Okay. All right. Last one. Fishing in the School program. So we're pretty new to this. We've been in it probably maybe about a year and a half now. It's very new. Fishing in the School program it's sort of based off the National Archery in the School program. Pretty much what it is. It's an outdoor education, in which we're going to use fishing. It's taught in school during school hours. I mean, the beauty of that, it's like the archery program, is you reach kids that'll never even try it. If you do it after school, you're going to get the ones that do it already, or the ones that maybe want to try it. But if you do it in school during school hours, you're going to pretty much get everybody. Everybody's going to at least try it one time, and that's pretty much some of the good stuff about this program. Just like the Archery in School program, it meets the national standards for PE, science, language arts. It has an awesome science curriculum with it, because it gets in there and talks about insects, it talks about ecology, water conservation. I mean, it goes into a lot of deep detail that you can really get into, and the science teachers are really liking it. And it's also considered what they call a moderate PE level, just like the NAS program is. Right now, the kits are coming with fly rods, is all they come with right now. It's fly rods and reels. I mean, there's some pretty nice fly rods. I'm not a big fly fisherman, but they're pretty nice. And it comes with the targets and has these little stuffed fish that some of you might have seen before. But this fall, this is when I really think the program is really going to take off, is this fall they're coming out, and this kit's going to have spin cast and also going to have the closed face rods. I do then, hit something, dude. Sorry about that. Like I said, this fall they're going to have the spin cast, and also they're going to have the closed face rods and reels. And I think that's really where it's going to take off. This program started 2009 out in Nebraska is where it started. Out west, they're known for their fly fishing. We got a lot of fly fishing around here, but I think get most of the kids here. I believe this is when it's really going to take off. We'll get those other rods and reels in this program. Okay. Since 2009, it's in about 16 states now, about 108 schools. Their goal is to have all 50 states and reaching 100,000 students by 2015. That's what their goal is right now. So it's a pretty hefty goal, but I think they're going to reach it the way it's been going. It's been going pretty good. They won the second award again for best youth-specific products. They've won that 2 years in a row now. Also getting lots of recognition now in some of the bigger publications, Field and Stream, some of these fly fishing and fishing magazines. So they're starting to get some really good publicity now. They've been partnered. They're getting volunteers. They're partnering with state agencies and federal agencies. Getting some pretty big sponsors, corporations. So I mean, they're moving right along. They're coming on pretty strong so far. And right now, we've got, like I said, 20 schools participating. We're reaching right now about 2,500 students. And unlike the NAS program, this program starts at grade 6 through 12. Well, the archery program is 4 through 12. So that's kind of where we're at right now. But yeah, we're moving along okay right now so far. But it'll get better, I think, as soon as the fall comes along. I think so.
What's the cost of it, Don?
The kit on this one is about $3,500. It's about $3,500. And last year, the Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation, they gave us a $15,000 grant that we gave 10 schools $1,500. And then the agency, we pitched in some too, and wound up costing the schools $750 for the kit, which is a real deal. Where the NAS kit, you can get it for about $3,000, and we've been given $1,000. So, and we've been getting another $500 from NAS. So it's about $1,500 for the NAS kit. That's what it's been down to about total so far.
So are those grants still available?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Don, thank you for you
Can I
and
say
your
one
staff.
more thing?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Sorry. This is a save the date thing. This is going to be August the 24th. We're going to be sponsoring with the foundation. It's going to be a sporting clay team shoot for our Wounded Warriors program. It's going to be a fundraiser, pretty much what it's going to be. And I've got some pamphlets that I'll pass out to y'all that y'all can take back. But it's going to be for our Wounded Warriors, and it's going to be at the Nashville Gun Club, August 24th. But we'll be getting a news release out, and we'll be putting it on the website. But there's some applications. Y'all come out and shoot with us.
Thanks, Don.
Done.
I just really appreciate, all that you and your staff have done to invest in the lives of these kids, and it truly is the heart of the agency, and it speaks volumes. So thanks for putting the effort out and making it, taking the initiative to make it happen. So
Appreciate
thank you.
it. Okay, thank y'all.
All right, next, the commission recognizes Don King, Chief of Information and Education, and, excuse me, Don's going to give us an update on the Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity. And just as a reminder, this kind of came about, this conversation, I guess, kind of started back in Paris when we were meeting there. There was a request for that for us to give you an update on some of the things that we do to help promote license sales and help remind folks to buy their licenses at the appropriate time. So anyway, by request, we put together this little presentation, and a little bit of a transition from Don Crawford's presentation talking about the Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation. That's who we work with on this particular program as well. They've been instrumental in helping promote programs and all things fishing related, and boating as well. You'll hear a little bit more about that in just a little bit, but we'll just step through some slides here, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of some of the things that we have done with the Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation. They really came into being about 1998 as a way to help state fish and wildlife agencies market their fishing and their boating programs. realizing that a lot of agencies are pretty heavy on the biology side, on the wildlife officer side, but not a whole lot of marketing expertise in a lot of the agencies. You know, for decades before, it's been, hey, you have a great deer herd and you have a great flock of turkeys, and you know everything else takes care of itself. People are compelled to come out and buy licenses, and if the fishing's great, then you don't have to worry about people buying their licenses. Well, as you know, we compete for people's time as much as anything else right now. So the RBFF kind of came into being to help wildlife agencies put things together that would help in that regard. You might be familiar with this ad. You might have seen this in some of the national magazines. They had a television campaign that they bought nationally, bought some spots on ESPN, some pretty high-profile placements several years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago for this campaign. We affectionately refer to this one as the Ashley campaign because that was that young lady's name. The little caption there says, "Take me fishing because my wedding will be sooner than you think." I can certainly relate to that with my daughter. She's 24 already. But anyway, we tried to maximize our efforts with their creative that they created, had done for them, that they share with all 50 states around the country, have complete access to all of those things that they create. And of course, as you can see, we were able to customize those messages. We have used some of their television spots over the years as well. There's just another example of a postcard that we have done. I'll get a little bit more into what we've done with these, but basically they through their consultations and working with marketing experts, have come up with the idea that there are really, let me back up just a second here. Yeah, okay. There are really a lot of ways that we can be working with the data that we already have in our electronic systems of selling licenses and keeping track of the folks that buy licenses on a regular basis. Jumping back to 2001, Bobby Wilson and I, our fisheries chief now, traveled to the National Conservation Training Center in Shepherdstown, West Virginia, and to first learn about what RBFF had to offer. And we learned some terminology like lapsed anglers and churn rates. And churn rate tends to be the number of anglers that are out there that are semi-regular customers of ours, but they might buy a license 3 out of 5 years. And the theory is that if we can impress those and convince those folks to buy it more like 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 years, that we could significantly increase our income. And so the efforts that RBFF touts have been along those lines. We do some direct mail. That's really what we've done up until now with them. It's always easier to reclaim a customer that's familiar with your product and service than it is to create a brand new one from scratch. So for the first several years, we printed our own postcards in-house and used their expertise to help find the right lists of folks who might be the easiest candidates to convince to buy their license that particular year. And over time, and as I said, working with a lot of other states as well, we all share communication. We share the information that they glean from all these campaigns. And they have also retained a company called Southwick and Associates, who crunch all the numbers. We work closely with our IT division, gets them the data from our database of licensed sales. They go through and figure out who they think would be the best candidates to send a postcard to as a reminder. And of course, I have a 12-page report, very detailed, that I can email each of you if you're interested in that as well. I realize for the time that we have to share today, Didn't want to get quite that deep in the weeds, but anyway, I'll just give you an example of the 2012 program that we did. Over time, they have taken on a bigger share of the burden, they being RBFF. They've taken 100% of the funding. It doesn't cost us a thing at all to participate. All we do is our IT department provides them the data from our license database. They go through, crunch the numbers, and come up with the prime candidates that we want to send the messages to. And of course, they leverage the nonprofit postage rate. They are a nonprofit organization, and they give us some options on some of the creative stuff that they have out there, where we can customize our own postcards. You might have even seen some of these. These are the 35 states who do participate in the program currently with RBFF. As you can see, it's pretty widespread. And nationally, their results, according to their tallies, came up with nearly 250,000 more licenses sold, and with an 8.6 response rate on all the mailings that they were able to do in 2012. And that tended to generate $4.98 million, not only in total license revenue, but that also includes the sport fish restoration apportionment that was significantly increased because of those increases in sales. Getting it down to our local level, 83,000 postcards were mailed. Of those, 4,900 licenses were sold, about a 6.6 response rate. And that resulted in that 152,000 plus in total revenue. And this amount, as I said, reflects that extra bump in sport fish restoration dollars generated from those. The 2013 postcard looked like this. The results are not back from the 2013 tally yet, but that was the front, and this is the back. Of course, you can see the customized message, and there's in the bottom left, there's the message about when you purchase your fishing license, you're contributing directly to important aquatic conservation efforts that help protect your local waterways today and for future generations to come. They do have quite an infrastructure in a website, a Take Me Fishing website, that has a lot of resources. We have contributed a lot of our boat ramp and fishing, fish attractor information that they have available on there for anybody who goes to that Take Me Fishing website. Next steps, we just continue to partner with RBFF, and the next steps, according to the meetings we've had with them, have been to really try to transition over time from the mailing a postcard that might end up not getting noticed or tossed in the trash, to really maximizing our significantly increased database of emails and ways of electronic communication that we've gathered with the advent of our new application, our web application, and our new check system that's about to be implemented, or has been implemented with the new web application. We are acquiring a lot more emails and ways to communicate with our customers electronically. So that would be one of the next steps. And I would like to bring Betsy Woods, our boating education coordinator, up to give you a little rundown on the boating side of all this. And with that, Betsy.
Thanks, Don. I was just going to give you an overview of our boat registrations. I know the commissioners, you get every month you get a printout of what's going on up to that particular time. And I just wanted to kind of give you an overview of the whole picture, not just month by month. these are our number of registered boats by fiscal year, and I went back to '07. They say 5 years sort of gives you a trend. And these are of course, we have 1, 2, and 3 year entities of boat registration. So this is how it's broken down by fiscal year. And this is our money by fiscal year that we get. And so you put these two slides together to compare, and you'll see we had a registration increase, fee increase in '08. And so in '09, while our boat registrations were down, our revenue was up. So, so we're really holding our own. The revenue keeps going up, and our boat registrations aren't quite as bad. We have had a rough few years in the boating industry, and that's reflected in these numbers as well. And that's coming back, I'm happy to say. We, in the boating side, we've been also partnering with RBFF in the lapsed boater registration programs. And 2012 was our first year. We mailed out these mailing postcards and things to the lapsed registration boaters in 2012. They go for 42 days after the mailing goes out, and then they start crunching the numbers, and we had 11% return in our mailings with $103,000 worth of increased revenue in 2012. This year, we mailed out more of the mailings, 45,000, a little bit more than that. The results, they usually don't give us the results till about late August versus September, so we'll see how that goes when we get that. But the big picture is when you look at boat registrations, and it's just the nature of the climate, you'll see that historically, you know, if you look at just February boat registrations, they're going to be really low. But this is like the trend. People register boats in the middle part of the year, April, May, June, July, and then it starts falling off again. So, in the whole United States, just to show you the trend with the last few years with the boating industry, how nationally they have dropped a little bit. You can see that. And in Tennessee, they have as well, although they're coming back. You can see this past year, we had a little bit more of an increase. We have not had more than 2% decrease, whereas in the United States, they have had more than 2% nationally. So we're really doing okay, and I just kind of wanted to point this out to you that our revenues are still up. We're really not losing any money, and things are getting better with that as well. So that's it. Anybody have any questions?
When I registered my boat, I registered for 3 years, so how is that reflected in the increase or decrease? I mean,
It's reflected in those first fiscal year numbers. You want me to bring that back? I don't think I have it yet. Where is it? It's reflected. This is actual numbers. Like if you look at your printout that you get from Ken Tarkington every month, you'll see that particular month how many boats were registered. That's boats registered. Now the next year, that boat won't be registered. It won't be in that count for the next year if you do it for 3 years. So these are just actual registrations from our system. And what you see month by month is just actual registrations that particular year when you entered that, when you paid for it.
Just out of curiosity, are our boating officers seeing boats on the water that have not renewed and writing a lot of tickets for that, or people
Yeah.
just not getting on the water at all with them?
They do write tickets for boats that are not registered.
I
yeah.
know they do,
Yeah.
but I mean, are we seeing an increase in that, even though that registrations are down, people still getting out on them?
Well,
Darren?
Commissioner, what happens is that's gonna be your number one violation. We'll write about 3,500 citations on the boating side of business, and the higher, that's the number one violation out there. Then next behind it will be either probably your fire extinguisher, then your lights, but yeah, our guys are checking, but that's always our number one violation, because that's kind of how it turns out to be. But as far as, yes, they're addressing that, and that's always gonna be our number one violation on citation written.
I have a question for Mr. King. Have you thought outside the box as far as your direct mailer, as far as your, running for politics? I've seen that the direct mailer is not really an effective tool that people really pay attention to. You said you started adding some emails to
Yes.
that. I mean, maybe there are some political gurus or marketing gurus that know more than I do, but I tend to think that a mailer is not going to grab the attention of people these days.
I'd say,
I'd trash it, to be quite honest with you. So I think that it would be helpful for you to be proactive in thinking like Facebook or some other things to grab that client's attention, or TV or something like that.
right, we're working toward that, and this presentation is kind of focused really finally on this effort, but yeah, we are working on some.
Have you ever thought like a pop-up ad on your computer?
We have some of those as banner ads in conjunction with a couple of television buys we've done, where the local channel will have a pre-roll commercial that will run before you actually see the newscast kind of thing.
Well, I know you say there's no cost, but, someone's paying for it somewhere. I don't know where, but, I just don't know if the direct mailers is the correct avenue. But that's my opinion, so
I tend to agree with you in that I think we're in a transition period, kind of moving from the traditional to the more direct route with the electronic, and the exciting thing about the electronic is that as we build that database and and it expands all the time, we basically have a free way to contact our customers.
Right. Well, I just know that for myself politically, I've never invested in a direct mailer because of just the expense, and I just don't know if it really produces the results that you want, in my opinion. So.
And to your point about the political side, I didn't get into a lot of the detail on the company that they work with to crunch the numbers, but it's quite a science, similar to what Mark Duda shared with us yesterday, where they go through the tapestry, tapping the citizenry and where they live and what their likes and dislikes are, and so a lot of the folks that or the numbers that get crunched are to try to maximize those efforts when we do send a postcard, that person's probably going to be a pretty good candidate to.
And I think you can look at age brackets. You're almost like dealing with lab rats here, but I think age brackets differentiate as far as people that are more focused on mail or on a direct mail would be. I don't know, not to offend anybody, but an older generation might be a little bit more attentive to a mailer than someone in their 30s.
Sure.
Something like that. So, no offense.
Oh, okay. And we are offering pre-sales for licenses at the boat shows. Betsy just reminded me, and as well as at the NWTF show, we did a fair amount of business, even though the show fell this year right before our licenses could actually be sold. We were able to pre-sell quite a number of those, and I would imagine that's a popular thing at the boat shows, right, Betsy?
Well, I must fall in the old class, because I have a boat that I rarely use down at my farm, and I got one of those, and it made me brought attention, and I re-registered my boat, so.
And it's free money too, right? So it's free money, and
Yes.
so we're getting this return for no investment, and
Generated $152,000 in jobs.
Right. So, well, we don't want to rule out anything that we're not that might be of help to us. So we try to maximize our efforts there.
Don, what do you think the cost of that postcard reminder that you send out for boat registrations runs a year?
Betsy?
I don't know. I'd say it's thousands.
I can get back with you on that. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. Are you speaking of just the RBFF one or the one that?
Reminder to register your boats.
You're talking about what we mail out every morning. It runs, the peak months you were just showing you, our postage on it, it probably runs about 6,000 a month or more. In the peak month. We're sending out right now, we're sending out over 1,000 a day almost.
Do you have any idea if you're getting results? I guess Chairman McMillan said it got him to pre-register. Do you have any cost-benefit analysis to see if that's working? You would think that it would be, but I just wonder.
I'm just curious what the net gain is. If you buy the material, you print the material, you send the material, the postage on it, you hope to be able to create a revenue off of that.
We can find out exactly what it costs for us to print it. I just know what it costs to mail it.
There's also a marketing firm that's also doing the jingles and the verbiage and all that.
Well, I'm not being critical of it. I think it's a good idea. I get them from Colorado and Montana and Texas and, reminding you hadn't been here in a while, come back and see us.
Yeah.
But I don't think we do that with wildlife, with licenses. We might do it with boat registrations, but we don't do it with licenses. You talked about it forever, but we don't do it.
We
And
do
said
it.
it costs too much, but we're doing it for boating, so I wanna know why we do it for one and don't do it for the other.
Well, the campaign I showed you earlier was for fishing licenses. So it's,
Well,
Yeah,
if it's hunting or fishing, but you're mailing postcards for fishing.
right. For the combo license, so, and typically, during that time period of, that we send those out, we're really aiming toward anglers at that point.
But is this, how do you zero in on who to send it to? Do you send it to the people that have not renewed?
Yes. Yes, all that data is sent from our IT division. We work closely with that Southwick group in Florida, and they go through and, yeah, we don't send them if they've already bought their license.
Anyone else? Thank you, Don.
All right.
Betsy,
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Thank you. At this time, the commission recognizes Bobby Wilson, Chief of Fisheries, and he's going to give us a recap on Free Fishing Day.
Yeah. Right there. Oh. Right click on it.
Right click on that, open with, quick down.
There we go.
Don't play.
Okay.
I guess we'll have an option to do it.
When you're ready,
Press
just hit that play button.
Thank you, Commissioner Schuster, for allowing me to get up here and speak even though I'm not on the agenda today. I just want to briefly mention a little bit about Free Fishing Day events and kids fishing events, since this is kind of the theme this morning of recruitment and retention and youth events. So the main reason that I want to be up here because Ron Crabtree, who's not here with us today, approached Director Carter and I last week and asked, he attended a fishing event in Grundy County, took a lot of pictures and put together a little slide presentation that he wanted us to show to y'all today. And with the help of our I&E guys, our video folks, they toned it down. It was a little bit longer, so we made it shorter for y'all. And then I want to speak a little bit afterwards about the free fishing events. Can you hear that?
I'll take down your fishing pole, meet me at the fishing pole, may not get a bite all day, but don't you rush away. What a great place to rest your bones, mighty fine for skipping stones, you feel fresh as can't think of a better way to pass the time of day. We'll have no need to call the roll when we get to the fishing hole. There'll be you, me, and old dog Trey to doodle time away. Man, it's so nice out here. I wouldn't care if I was fishing with a naked hook.
Well, old buddy, you might as well be fishing with a naked hook. No more fishing you've caught.
Oh, you reckon you're ever gonna catch one?
Caught more than you have. No fishing rascal.
I ain't gonna have to take your fish off for you, am I, today, you know?
That's the only way you're gonna get fish smell on your hand.
Pass me one of them cold ones, would you? Hanging around, taking our ease, watching that hound, scratching at his fleas. If we don't hook a perch or bass, we'll cool our toes in dewy grass, or else pull up a weed to chaw and maybe sit and jaw. Come on, take down your fishing pole and meet me at the fishing hole. I can't think of a better way to pass the time of day.
Okay. Thanks to Ron Crabtree and for putting that together. And like I said, our video guys shortened it a little bit. And of course, that was Darryl Worley and Win Varble, I think is his name, who sang that song. So, but I wanted to mention that it said on the very end, the credits, there was one of 57 free fishing day events that took place on June 8th and June 9th across our state. We actually have 88 listed on our website, 88 fishing events that either have already taken place or are yet to take place, but most of them have already taken place by now. But I just kind of want to give you a little bit of information about those events and what all went into it. They range in size from anywhere from about 100 kids to almost 800 kids in size, and they have different styles. They're not all the same. One event may be they'll give away prizes for the largest fish or the most fish or tagged fish. Some cases they don't give away any prizes. You just show up and fish. So it just differs. Some of them have spent months planning this. Some have done it for a number of years, and they spend a lot of time coordinating and organizing these events. We sort of sweeten the pot a little bit by stocking catfish in many of them. Like I said, we had 88 events scheduled. In 66 of those events, we stocked catfish. I went back and looked at some of the records. Back in 2004, 9 years ago, we only stocked 26 events with catfish, and there were only 61 events. So we've increased the number of not only the events that held, but also that we provide catfish for stocking. And we stock generally about 40,000 pounds of catfish that are average about a pound, maybe 3/4 of a pound in size. Interestingly enough, when we first started doing this, we had the contract to stock catfish. We buy the catfish from a private source. They were giving us big catfish, 3, 5, 7 pounds. And watching the little kids out there with their Spider-Man little rod and reel, and it would just snap a line, or they'd get it to the edge and see this big catfish, and they couldn't pick it up if they didn't have a net. But we've learned a lot from the first early days, and now they're smaller, and plus we get more catfish too, because they charge by the pound. We have a budget set up for that. Through the fisheries division, we purchase these catfish on an annual basis. And then also some through private donations, we stock additional fish, and as well as we raise some at Humboldt Hatchery that are big enough to stock for some of these kids' fishing events. Most of the catfish that we raise at Humboldt Hatchery, we generally stock out in our agency lakes, and they're only about 8 or 10 inches long, so they're really not quite big enough at that size. So we have to hold them over for a little bit longer to get to a bigger size to stock in these events. We have a lot of help from a lot of different folks. We have this year alone, we know we've got at least 200 agency folks that have helped, and we only have about 127 fisheries people, so we have help from a lot of wildlife officers, folks even in the wildlife division, a lot of folks from the support staff, the I&E division, the the budget division, just people like that come out and they offer to help for the weekend to put on some of these events. And we have over 660 volunteers as well. And the number of kids that participated is at over 13,000 kids just this year participated in the fishing events. And with the parents that accompany them, and in some cases fish, it's about 20,000 people total. So I just want to pass that along briefly to give you an update and show you that good little video that Ron Crabtree provided for us. We could have thousands of those, or hundreds of those slides just like that across the state, but that's just a small representation of one event that took place this past Free Fishing Day. So, any questions? I'm done.
Thank you, Bobby.
Welcome.
Chairman McMillan?
Thank you, Chairman Schuster. I think we need about a 1-minute pause here, so let's just hang tight.